What's happening with the Toronto real estate market in 2022? Has it finally calmed down? As a matter of fact, no. January was another record-breaking month. And in this video, we're going to cover off the Toronto Real Estate Board's January 2022 report. And make sure you stay until the end, because the most expensive market in Toronto and the GTA right now is not actually Toronto. So let's get to it. Hi everybody, my name is Connie Sarvananthan and I'm a real estate agent and investor here in Toronto and the GTA. I grew up in Toronto and I've bought and sold a lot of real estate here, so I know Toronto and the GTA like the back of my hand. If you have any real estate needs, feel free to call, text, email, or WhatsApp and we'll be sure to help you out. So let's look at the Toronto Real Estate Board's January 2022 market report. Okay, so this is the Market Watch, which comes from TREBB, which stands for the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board. And although it's the Toronto Regional Board, it actually covers more than just Toronto. It actually covers a lot of the GTA as well. So you would get places like Markham and Stouffville and Pickering and Ajax and Oakville included in all these numbers. So it's Toronto and the GTA. And TREBB releases a lot of data. It releases monthly data, quarterly data, annual data. So there's a lot of information available. I'm gonna link to this particular report in the video so you can look at it more in detail, but we're gonna cover off some of the major points within this video right now. And then if you want more information, you can link below. So the first thing that you will see is that the average price for all these regions and all types of homes has gone from $966,000 in January 2021 to 1.2 million in January 2022. So that's almost a 30% increase in the average price year over year. And then if we break it down by the different types of homes, you'll see that detached homes are now, the average price is 1.7 million. The semi-detached prices are 1.3 million. Townhouses are $1,083,000, so almost 1.1. And then condos are 750,000. So what does that mean as far as changes versus a year ago? It means that detached homes went up 28%. Semi-detached homes went up 31%, and townhouses went up almost 35%, and then condos went up 24%. And I think this, the fact that townhouses grew so much is really an indication of affordability. As detached and semi-detached homes became less and less affordable, I think more people were looking at townhouses, which meant you had more competition on townhouses, which is also why they grew. I think this year you're going to see condos growing quite a bit just because from an affordability standpoint, condos will be the one where the majority of people will start to look. So that's kind of what's happening overall. Now let's get into a little bit more detail. Okay, so if we look at some more detail, this is all home types and it's a summary for all the TREBB areas. So like I said, the TREBB areas include more than just Toronto. You do have the city of Toronto, but you have places like Burlington and Milton and Oakville and Richmond Hill. So basically there was 5,636 listings that are included in the TREBB report. And this is anybody in January who would have listed property on the Toronto Real Estate MLS. And so, for example, in Simcoe County, there was 158. Well, Simcoe County has their own board, which would have a lot more than this, but 158 of those listings were also included in the Toronto Real Estate Board. So what's great is you get a real picture of all of Ontario from this, including Toronto, which has the most volume out of everybody. And then when you look at the average price, so for all of these regions, the average price was $1,242,793. And then if you look at the most expensive within this, which would be over $1.8 million for average price point, it's Oakville, Caledon, King, which is like north of Vaughan, so Schaumburg, Nobleton. Those are big, beautiful homes. It's the highest at 1.9 million, almost 2 million for average price. And then Stouffville is also up there at 1.844. So those are the most expensive. And then the most affordable right now is in Essa, which is near Barrie, in Simcoe County. There's also some others that are hovering around $1 million, which is places like Oshawa and Brock, which are, all outside of Toronto and not just the bordering cities, but these would be further out. Oshawa can take up to 45 minutes to an hour to get to without traffic. And then when you add in traffic, it gets much longer. So those are all home types for January 2022. And then let's get into a little bit more detail. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to look at was overall growth. And what you'll see is for all these TREBB markets, the overall growth was about 33%. But then there's some specific areas that grew even more than that. So if you a place like Clarington, which is east, like towards Ajax and Whitby, that way, it grew 50%. And then you had places like Stouffville, which grew 44%. Same with Caledon. So even though 33% is crazy, some of these markets grew even more. So what you're seeing is definitely a migration outside of the city and because of that, you're seeing that the prices are increasing big time. And the other thing that you'll notice is places like Stouffville, where it grew 44% overall. It also grew 44% when it came to single-family detached homes. So that's year on year for January 2022. You're seeing these kind of price increases. And then it switches slightly when you get over to condos. So the biggest growth in condos was actually in Markham at 38%. And there's nothing above 38% as far as condos goes. So it goes back to that whole thing about these ones were growing before, and now you're going to see, I think this year, because the affordability is now towards condos are going to grow significantly in 2022. And then the last thing I wanted to cover off in this report is the overall annual statistics. So this shows you all the areas that TREBB covers. So what this means is that there was listings from all these areas in the TREBB market. So an agent in Clarington listed with TREBB, an agent in Essa listed with TREBB. So this is all the markets where it was covered. And the green is actually Toronto proper, and those are areas within Toronto. So here's what's interesting. In 2010, the average price point in Toronto was $431,000. 10 years later, it was more than double at $929,000. And then at the end of 2021, the average price point went from $929,000 to $1,095,000 in 2021. And now we've made another jump of $1,242,793. So you'll see here that Toronto grew consistently. There was only 1 year where there was a change. We had our average price point was $822,000 in 2017. And then it dropped to $787,000 in 2018 and came back up to $819,000 in 2019 and then made the big jump in 2020. So Toronto has been steadily growing. A lot of people didn't think we could continue to grow, but it grew in 2021. It's grown in January. I'm going to put a link to why it has grown in January. There's a few other reasons, and I've done a video on what's driving this, which includes, basically it's a supply and demand first and foremost, but then there's other things like Omicron and all other things that have affected the January market, and I'll link to that video before. So that's it for this report, and I will make sure to link to it down below so that if you have more specific questions about a specific area, then please let me know in the comments, and I'll try and comment on it in the future. The reason why I did Stouffville this time was somebody asked for more information on Stouffville, and then we can look at any other areas that are important to you. That's it. Thank you for joining us. And if this is your first time to the channel, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out. And if you have any comments, please let us know, good or bad, in the comments below, because it'll help us determine what videos matter to you. My name is Connie Sarvananthan, and I'm a real estate agent and investor here in Toronto and the GTA. And if you have any real estate needs, we'd love to help you out. Call, text, email, or WhatsApp, and we'll be sure to take care of you.